Welcome back, everyone. Wow, what a team final it was at the 2024 Olympics. It came down to the last event, pommel horse, arguably the most nerve-wracking event in men's gymnastics. The final competitor for the US was Nedoroscik, who in dramatic fashion rocked his routine and secured the bronze medal for the United States. Steven has already been world champion on pommel horse, and he'll be in the pommel horse finals at the Paris Olympics. Today, I'll be analyzing the pommel horse skills and routine of world champion Nedoroscik. Let's get started with the analysis. First, look how low he squats for this very strong and high jump into his mount. This creates a lot of power to make the hop and turn all the way to the other side of the pommel horse in this hop full twisting scissor or McClenaghan. Now watch this little hand touch on the pommel. This is normal for this skill, and I believe it helps him square up his body and to be more consistent with this skill. Very nice. He moves into two pommel loops into a difficult double Russian or walk around on one pommel, done very solid and with very clean form. Watch how fast his hands move and the accuracy of each hand placement to sustain solid support as he spins on the one pommel. It looks very comfortable for him. He's capable of doing a much more difficult 1080 walk around on one pommel, but I'm not sure if he's going to use it in the finals. Here's a side-by-side with two-time Olympic pommel horse champion Max Witock. He also does a 1080 Russian most of the time, and he may add it in his routine in the finals. Now Steven moves into a very difficult full Kier or a sewn. That's a long time to balance on one hand. The full Kier or sewn is done with only one hand placement in one circle. He has very extended body position here. His right hand has to grab the pommel in reverse grip to prepare for the full turn on the one pommel. It's very odd to grab the pommel in this way. As the shoulders start to lean over and outside the pommel, his body turns and the arms and legs counterbalance with each other. He leads with his toes throughout most of the skill. He's very locked in with his arm locked close to his side, very clean and smooth. He is looking for that sweet spot of balance between leaning too far and not leaning enough. This is a full back Stockley or a bazoogo done very clean. He gets his hand on the pommel very fast, so he must have very flexible wrists. He has a solid lean with his arm pushing down and locked close to his body. Now look at his arm. It's like a bull rider that moves his free hand around to help him maintain balance on the bull. He raises or lowers his hands to make micro adjustments in his balance as he turns on the pommel. Then he finishes this skill just as he would if he was doing a more normal basic Stockley. Really great stuff. Now he moves into some one pommel work. This is two pommel circles into two back Stockleys or back Moores. In this skill, he has 8 hand placements on one pommel, keeping very nice extension and form throughout and staying pretty high above the pommel. Very nice. Looking closer, he has good extension and pushes down on the pommel very well. Very extended with nice toe point here. He's very accurate with his hand placements to maintain good push on the pommel to complete this very nice combination. Here's a side-by-side with Olympic pommel horse champion Max Witock, who he'll see in the finals, doing a woo, or a full travel across the horse while doing multiple Russian walk-around swings. They are both uniquely clean and smooth in this woo travel. He has nice body extension, and watch as Steven keeps his chest facing the pommel horse the entire time throughout this skill. Beautiful form, swinging very high above the horse. Now he travels long ways across the horse only on the leather and not touching the pommels at all. He pushes down with very good accuracy between the pommels here and reaches to the end of the horse, maintaining very nice body position. Here's a side-by-side with world champion RYSE McClenaghan from Ireland doing a back salvato across the horse. In this travel backwards, they alternate each hand placement from leather, pommel, leather. They look very similar here. Pommel, nice extension from both, back to the leather into loops on the end. Steven ends with 2 pommel loops into a back Stockley handstand with a half pirouette. Really clean and solid and having great endurance to have no struggle in his dismount. The top 3 pommel horse workers in the finals are Max, Steven, and RYSE. I believe Max is slightly favored due to his extremely high difficult level, but Steven and RYSE both have much more extension and aesthetic swing. Anything can happen in a finals, and I'm curious if Steven or RYSE will add any difficulty to their routines. No matter what, it will be very exciting and I believe a very close competition. Today we'll be analyzing the pommel horse skills of two-time world champion Irishman RYSE McClenaghan. Let's get started with RYSE's mount. He does a back scissor to handstand with great technique. I show different versions to show how consistent he is with the skill. Good technique is to show swing to the handstand and not a press, and you want your hips to be very open and not piked. RYSE swings very smoothly up to his handstand. In this comparison of RYSE and Max, RYSE has his hips much higher when he gets his second hand back on that pommel. Max moves a bit slower to the handstand but very controlled. He does open up his hips well not to appear to use strength. They both swing very well in real time. This is the best one I've seen RYSE do. He has open hips and a straight body and he swings quickly straight up to the handstand. Here he moves on to multiple Russians on one pommel. I use this video of RYSE because although he covers it up very well, he is struggling and adjusting much more than he normally does. Even so, he maintains decent form with only a small foot separation. He's a fighter. We can see in this version, both are smooth, flawless, and just flow so great. RYSE's nice toe point stands out to me and gives much more elegance to every skill he does in his routine. Look how tight and controlled he is with very nice extension and distance from the horse. It looks like he could stay on that pommel all day long. When we compare Max Whitlock with RYSE, we can see that he uses much more of a planche position, where RYSE leads more with his shoulders as he circles around. Both keep their chest down very well, have good distance from the horse, and maintain good push and balance throughout. Nice work. Now they both do the same Russian sequence, but this time between the pommels on the leather. There's more space to adjust your hands on the leather, but both have to swing much higher to clear their body over the pommels. RYSE's fast swing helps create momentum to clear the horse and have nice extension, but a fast swing can get out of control a bit easier. Max has a slower, less momentum driven and tighter swing, but he controls his swing remarkably well. I did an analysis and comparison of Max Whitlock and Chow Quinn already, and I'll leave that link in the description for that video. You may find that very insightful to the style and technique of Max Whitlock. RYSE has a really stretched front circle, and he also has a lot of room between his hips and the pommel. Just like Max Whitlock, he's very clean and consistent with his one pommel work. If you look closely here, you can see his hand is up a bit more in the right image, as this is one way gymnasts micro adjust to stay in such good balance during their swing. Because gymnasts swing so fast, it's difficult to see the small adjustments they are doing in real time to maintain solid balance. RYSE's pommel horse routine lasts about 44 seconds and includes around 37 circles, give or take. It's a very long routine. Max Whitlock's routine swings generally slower and lasts about 48 seconds, but is made up of 35 circles, give or take. The longest routine I've seen is 1992 Olympic champion on pommel horse Pai Gil-soo, and his routine went on for 48 seconds just like Max's routine, but he had 37 circles as he swung faster also. I didn't count handstand skills or scissor work. This is a new skill for RYSE and raises his difficulty. A bezego or a full back Stockley on one pommel, but he doesn't look very comfortable on this skill yet, so I'm curious if he's going to put it in for the Olympics. Many athletes do the same trending skills, so it matters greatly who does them better as to set themselves apart from each other. Koi Young and Max Whitlock both show really consistent control in their handstand work, so who does it better? They both look exceptional to me. Max has a very solid, clean, and controlled swing that allows him to do incredibly difficult skills. His lack of toe point does stand out to me and change his overall look of his pommel horse work. Again, Max does so much one pommel work so comfortably and controlled, he never appears to struggle with his balance. Now with RYSE, of course anything can happen in competition, but already to have so many recent successes on pommel horse gives RYSE a lot of momentum, not only in his confidence, but also in how the judges in gymnastics world perceive him, and this does have an invisible positive value for him. A tattoo of the Olympic ring signifies his passion, pride, and commitment to his gymnastics. His Irish green wrist supports show his patriotism for his country. These athletes are fully invested in doing everything and giving everything they can to finish as high as possible in the Olympic Games. As always, I hope you enjoyed this analysis and got some value out of it. Feel free to like and subscribe as it helps me grow this channel, and feel free to leave a comment or any thoughts or suggestions of any other gymnasts you'd like to see analyzed. Until next time, all my best and rock on.